YouTube. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Thank you for joining us for this morning's Deep Ministries live stream. Glad to have you here. And we are doing one more Ask Your Angels, which is very exciting because last week it was such a shit show. So many shenanigans were happening last week. So the angels said, let's do it one more time. Cool. Let's let Kim in here and Andrea. Sweet. Good morning. Good morning for everybody who has joined us in the Zoom room. Since you are in the Zoom room, you have right of first refusal. Not right of first refusal. You have first come, first serve for questions and answers for your angels. Good morning, everybody who is in the Zoom room. Good morning, everybody who is streaming from our Facebook page. It is 10 o'clock. We are live. We are ready to go. Let's just make sure we're live on my streaming page. Not now. Yes, we sure are. So we're going to go live on Facebook. Fingers crossed. I think I resolved all the issues from last week. So hold good energy for me, please. And then for those of you who are joining me in the Zoom room, feel free to drop your questions for the angels. We've got them here. I'm so happy to have you joining me live. And then the last one is Instagram. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to Deep Ministries weekly live stream. Let's just make sure that we are live in Facebook. And then we're good to go. And then we're ready to do some, yes, yay, woohoo! That's so exciting. Yes. Woohoo, we did it. We did it. We are live. Hi, Kat. How are you, sweet girl? Thank you for joining us. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Miranda. Hi, Beta. Hi, Steph. Hey, Kimmy. And Lorena's here, and Crystal and Gurjot. Miss Rach is here. So happy to have you. Good morning to everybody on Instagram. Good morning to everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, who's watching from my live streaming page. Hi, Bree. Welcome, sweet girl. Good to see you. Hey, Sarah. Good morning. And today it is an Ask Your Angels. Yay! Oh, I love Ask Your Angels because, okay, I'm just going to be super transparent. When I do an Ask Your Angels, I don't have to prepare anything. I don't have to be ready. I can just show up, do my thing, ask the angels, see what the answers are, and I get to be super duper present. So for those of you who are in the Zoom room, whatever your questions are, go ahead and drop them in the chat box. We're going to go Zoom first, and then after the Zoom questions, then we will bounce over to Facebook, over to Instagram, answer your questions there. And then after that, we will do some more rounds of questions. We're going to end a little bit early. We're probably going to end around 11:15 a.m. PST because I'm taking my mom to the airport and I don't want her to be late for her flight. So we'll end a teensy bit earlier than usual. For those of you who have no clue who I am, if this is your very first Livestream. If you had just started following me, if you've just started noticing those emails in your email inbox, and you're like, who are you? What are you about? What do you do? What is going on? Let me give you just a little bit of a brief overview. Obviously, my name is Abby. Abby Levine is my business name. For the last few years, I've been focusing on being a money mindset coach. And my clients have made close to $1 billion in the last 3 years during the pandemic. And most of them started with less than $5,000 a month. So it was a pretty cool thing. It was very exciting. But during that period, I started connecting with my angels. They were the ones who actually told me to focus on money mindset. They gave me the programs for the money mindset programs. And recently they told me it's time to get a little bit broader and more holistic. And they handed me the Divine Evolutionary Path, which is what DEEP stands for. And what the Divine Evolutionary Path actually is practical steps rooted in spirit, walking you to your most evolved life of ease and abundance. And there's steps that anybody can take. Okay. And it's really cool. And they have me teaching live every single Sunday. And I'm teaching the philosophy and kind of the tips and the teachings of Deep Ministry on Sundays for free, because it's not knowing the thing that actually helps you. It's doing the work. Now, I have classes that are free right now because I don't have my system set up yet. There's a lot going on, but they will be available on a donation basis. But right now they're free. So if you're on my email list, you're getting all the notifications for the classes. You can actually show up and join the classes and do some work. We're in the middle of track 1. And track 1 is dissolving poverty mindset. So that's kind of what we're working on. The classes are bouncing all over the place, but that's who I am. That's a little bit about what's going on with me. We have our practical on the ground first local initiative for my nonprofit, which is transitional housing for aging out foster kids. So that's our first project that we're working on right now. So funds from the nonprofit are all funneling to support building these homes, which is very exciting. And that's it. That's what I'm about. I'm a healer. I'm a magician, an alchemist, and lots of fun stuff. But let's move on. We're going to do an Ask Your Angel. So what that means is everybody has an angel team. Everybody's got a divine team. You have spirit guides. You have ascended masters on your team. You might have intergalactic beings. There's otherwise known as aliens on your team. But the one that's a little bit easier to swallow are the archangels. So every once, oh, Sarah, I love you so much. Every once in a while, the archangels let me go live and just answer questions. And that's it. So it's your team. It's not my team. My team is talking to your team. But so you're essentially asking questions to your angels, maybe about your business or about your love life or about your relationships or whatever you have going on. You can ask your angels and they send your answer through me. Most people are like, do you remember when I asked this and you said this and I laughed because it was absolutely ridiculous, or I hated that answer? And I was like, no. And then they were like, you were right. And I always try to remind people, I didn't say that. I'm just the channel. I am the messenger. So I usually don't remember because I'm just like open, funneling answers. And that is the end of the story. Hi. Okay. Rach has the first question, Miss Rachel. Now I learned my lesson from last week when I join people and take them off speaker, it can tend to go on. So if I will unmute you if I have more questions, or if your team have more questions. Other than that, I'm just going to answer your questions as you type them into the chat. Rach wants to know about this new love interest. Is this a soul level connection? Hey, Shell. And could it be the long-term love you've been asking for? Okay. So some information is coming through. First of all, your team is like, yay! So they're celebrating you. Is this a soul level connection? Absolutely. And there's something about it that you already knew that to be the answer. So yes, this is a soul level connection. Is this the long-term love? It could be, is what they're saying. Okay, and the reason that it could be is because there are a ton of factors that are building into, will this be a long-term connection? I don't even want to put the boundaries of a relationship on it because that can be so deeply ingrained with societal traumas. But this could be a long-term connection, but it very much depends on what is your definition of long-term. So if you're asking, is this going to be longer than several weeks? The answer is it might be. If you're asking, is this a long-term soul connection that you souls have had multiple dealings with each other within multiple lifetimes? The answer is an affirmative. Yes. This is not the first time you guys have met. It won't be the last time that you guys will meet, but there's factors. Okay. One of the first factors that's playing in is your relationship trauma. So, can you slow down? They're like, and it's coming out in angelic and I can't understand it. Okay. So, are you ready to heal the damage that has been done? This connection will test every fiber of your being. And if you are too attached to the trauma patterns, they're showing me like a block of ice. No, it's like a teensy little fire that's getting like a bucket of water splashed on it, like thrown on it, dumped on it. So that's how your trauma can act within this connection on your side. The thing that's completely out of your control is his trauma. And it's not super dense, as in like it hasn't twisted his soul. I don't feel bitterness, but there's just like a lot of sadness and grief that they're showing me. And just a lot of fear. Like it might stop him from opening up his heart. Like he finds you very intriguing. He's very interested. But his fear might just stop him from even opening up to the possibility. So can this be? Yeah. Will it be? That remains to be seen. What will you two do? What will you guys do with what you have, right? And if one of you is able to conquer your fears and not the other, no problem. And if both of you are not able to conquer your fears, no problem. Like everything about this association is going to lead to some growth. And there's definitely some divine guidance and support available to both of you, but they can't interfere with your free will. They can't interfere with your individual choices. And since you don't control him, he doesn't control you. It's anybody's best bet at this moment. Trust, surrender, stay present. Try not to control. Try not to manage his perception of you. Try to be your most authentic self. That doesn't mean that you have to like word vomit your everything about you all over him, but it does mean be really present. Feel what is necessary in each moment, if that makes sense. is there anything that you need to do or to know about this potential relationship? So yes, anything you need to do? Yes, focus on yourself. What's being triggered? What's coming up? What's making you shut down? What's making you, I don't feel you moving into obsessive thought, which is fucking fantastic. Good job. But there is some importance with staying present and noticing your triggers and just dealing with them and nipping them in the bud like instantly. Thanks, Rach, for your question. Miranda is next up. Should I stay in my current living space or move to my mom's? Okay. There's a bit of different information coming through for you. So let me piece it out. First of all, they want you to make that decision because you are the one who has to live with the outcome, not them. If you're asking, is there a best solution? Like, is there a more right solution? No, there is not a more right solution. If you choose to stay where you're at, you will have different kinds of challenges and struggles, similar to the ones that you've been having. There is a certain amount of slowing down of your path if you stay where you're at, but for the purpose of learning the lessons that are keeping you in this cycle. So there are some very important lessons. It feels like it's financial. It feels like there are some things financially that you have to learn, some behaviors. There's a relationship with money. There's some things financially that you have to learn, which is why this cycle keeps repeating itself and not like letting go of you. And so if you choose to stay where you're at, you will have the opportunity to elevate above these challenges. But it's going to slow down everything else because of how painful and because of how much it creates anxiety. And because like you have to deal with all of the emotions within the cycle as well as learn the behaviors. Does that kind of make sense? Okay. If you move back to your mom's, and this is why it's a question, if you move back to your mom's, there's a whole fucking other level of trauma that you're going to have to deal with and a whole other level of healing that's going to reveal itself. But it will give you an opportunity to take a break with working on your money stuff, but it will be fucking intense. And that doesn't mean that the experience will be intense. Yes, the experience will be intense. You already know this. You know the experience is going to be intense. That's not it. It's the trauma that will be triggered that will come up for healing. It's the anxieties, it's the pains, it's the criticism. It's the it'll put you back into that little Miranda space where you were hurt and wounded initially, and it's going to give you the opportunity to heal that and to rise above it and to learn how to set boundaries with it, etc., etc., etc. So both options offer you a tremendous level of healing within different contexts. Neither path is easy, but both of them are going to be necessary for your next evolution. And that's why they're kind of like, hi, Tiff. That's why they're kind of like, pick your poison. You have a really jarring path of healing coming up in the next 6 to 12 months. Which one do you want to work on? Do you want to focus on your money one, or are you ready to heal the childhood wounding? Both are going to have to be dealt with, but whichever one you choose will be your like quantum focus of healing, because it's going to be so jarring. You're going to be thrown into the deep end with the sharks and swim as fast as you fucking can. Like that's the energy of the healing. So yeah, so that's the long answer to your short question. You're welcome. Keep us posted. I'll be very interested to find out which path you choose and how that healing journey goes for you. Beta. What was the car incident for? Well, that's so funny because I wanted to answer that question for me. Hey, Matt, how are you? I wanted to answer that question. And they're like, hey, you don't know. Get out the way. So Beta, the car incident, let me find out. Okay. So there's this look that they're giving you that's like, and I don't know what it means. So let me ask some more questions. They're like, you know what the car's incident was for. Beta, can you unmute yourself, babe?
Yes.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so what was the car incident for? You tell me.
So yeah, I had a car accident. So and
What do you think it's for? Why do you think it happened?
So many things is in my head. So I'm like, which one?
Okay.
Is it like I'm like
tell me some of them.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it's a new beginning, but I'm like, if it's a new beginning, why is it with a loss?
Right.
And are they trying to tell me something that I'm letting go of something?
Okay, they're going like this. They're going like this. Yeah. Okay, keep going.
Okay, good.
Going.
So I'm letting go of something, less attachment. Mm-hmm. Let it go. Mm-hmm. It's gonna help you to move on, because I feel like this is my pattern, that I know that I have to move on, but I'm waiting for their nudge always. So
okay. That reminds me. Okay, that makes sense why they were giving you this look. Okay, they're like, really?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for sharing. The reason that they won't tell me is because they're saying, you already know, you have open connection. They've been telling you. This attachment to your stuff, this fear of letting go of your current lifestyle is all tied up with stuff, including that car, right? So when you said the releasing of the attachment to like certain things, they're like ding 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 ding. Yes, it's time to let go. They're starting to back you into a corner because everything that they have done so far hasn't been enough. All that emotional torment, it hasn't been enough. All of that psychological torture wasn't enough. So now they're actually backing you into a physical space where you have no choice but to move forward. They know it's time. You know it's time. And there's this very like, they're showing me an image of you digging your heels into the dirt. And they're like pushing you as hard as they can, but your heels are digging like deeper and deeper into the dirt, right? It's like you're plowing the dirt with your feet. They're
like I'm resisting.
Yeah, so much. Well, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So resisting with everything that you have and everything that you are. Like the level of resistance is absolute, right? And so they're like, okay, well, you need to move on. So we're going to start clearing out some of these other stuff that like.
Okay.
Here's the thing, babe. It's going to get much more painful. It's going to get harder.
Okay.
It's going to get harder if you don't listen and you don't act. Mm-hmm. They're going to back you into a corner and leave you with nothing. If that's like, if that's what has to happen before you take action.
Yeah, I have to take action.
You do.
I'm the one.
Yeah. And they can't tell you because it's your life, but they're like, come on, you can't ask for what you want and then refuse to take it. They're like, what do you want from us? Like you can't ask for freedom and then we show you freedom and you're like, no, I think I'm going to stay behind bars.
Right.
Like that's just not a thing. So, so because you keep asking, help me, help me, help me, help me.
And
they're like, and then not doing something, right? They're like, okay, well, we're gonna help you now, but you're not gonna like
twist your way.
Yeah, you're not gonna like the way that we're gonna help you. Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome, sweet pea. You can mute yourself again. Okay, Gurjot, how can you increase your abundance? Your business isn't attracting any and you're feeling blocked. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, there's lots of things that are actually creating those blocks for you, Gurjot. So first of all, the very first thing that comes in is like simultaneously cultural trauma and ancestral trauma. There are some programs around your cultural something overlay, perception of money, a perception of who's allowed to have money and who's not allowed to have money, that is creating your block. You are unconsciously blocking it. So you're missing opportunities because of this cultural programming. Ancestral trauma. Also, all throughout your ancestral line, there is a trauma around who's allowed to have and who's not allowed to have, what you're allowed to have and what you're not allowed to have. Okay, so there's lots of stuff that's going on, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. And what's really frustrating for you, I can feel it. I can feel that you've been trying to work on your relationship with money for quite a while now, and it doesn't feel like you're getting any traction. But that's because your brain has you working on stuff that's not going to work for you. It feels like you've been doing affirmations. Feels like, hey, Crystal. Feels like you've been doing, but you're here in the Zoom room, so now you're in two places. Feels like you've been doing law of attraction. Feels like you've maybe been journaling. But the stuff that you're doing is absolutely not touching the root cause of the blocks. So what you need to do is you need to do some hypnosis, you need to do some NLP, you need to isolate and find the root cause of these money blocks. There needs to be some ancestral clearing. There has to be some cultural pattern clearing within your unconscious programming, because it is providing an actual wall. And it's not just one wall, babe. It's like there are so many walls between you and resource flow, having an open resource flow. And it's so frustrating. I can see it. They're showing me because you're like banging against the wall going, please, like, give it to me. And you're like trying to find the opening in the wall and doing the things that you think are working. They're not going to work for you. You have to go to your brain matter. And the only way to shift that is hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming, some kind of actual technical process that's going to re-pattern your neural pathways. Anything else around that is not going to work for you. So it's actually time. Good morning, Judy. It's actually time for some very specific and intentional healing in your brain. If that makes sense, hopefully. There's more stuff. There's so much more stuff beyond that. Oh, if you don't have a job, they're saying, get a job, get a job, get a job, get a job, get a job. Oh, okay, you do, but you hate it. Okay, it's like life soul draining. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to have to be how you live until, and you want more freedom. You want more liberty. Got it. Because I can see they're showing me you feel really trapped in your current circumstances. And because you don't have an excess of income, you feel like you don't have any options. They want you to know that that's not true. You have all of the options. But because of these blocks, you're committed to the idea that you don't. You're committed to the idea that you don't have any options. Yeah. There's quite a road ahead of you for your relationship with money, dissolving poverty mindset and recreating a healthy connection and relationship with money However, it is so within reach for you. It is like there may be several walls in between you and resource flow, but it's so possible that you can just melt these walls and melt these things standing in your way and get all of the abundance and the resource flow that you're looking for. It's almost like you've been practicing like pretend manifestation. It's not your fault. It's just that you haven't been dealing with what's actually blocking you. So they're saying, okay, they're telling me time to move on. Sorry, there's so much information here for you. Sending you so much love and light. It's going to be a journey, but you can do this. Steffi, did you put your question here, my darling? Or do you want to just unmute yourself? Yeah, why don't you just unmute yourself, sweet girl?
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I didn't write it. I didn't even know what it was until now.
That's very fair. Apology, not even necessary.
Okay, thank you. So I did the class this morning that we talked about with my team, and we had that talk. And how can I know that because they're maintaining the same things that they were saying.
Wow, they are, huh?
So how can I trust that?
This feels a little bit more like a question for me rather than your team, because yeah, is that okay? Like, it's like, well, no matter what we say, like, you're not going to believe us anyway, necessarily. Yeah. Okay. So they're going to work with me, and I'm going to combine my team, your team, me, my wisdom, my higher self, your higher self. Okay, we're all coming to the table. We're coming to the table. We're having a conference meeting. We're doing a conflict resolution session. Okay, so everybody's coming to the table. Okay, your team is very unhelpful. I can see why you get frustrated with them. They're like, their first question is, what are your other options? Trust us or don't trust us. What else are you going to do? So I can appreciate why that's frustrating to you. So my team is doing a little bit of navigating. Okay, so my team is talking to your team. Okay. We're asking for some clarification on your behalf. And your team is saying you're not allowed to have the full picture right now. And the reason that you're not allowed to have the full picture right now is because it will affect the work that you were supposed to be doing this week, next week, in the coming weeks. There are some really important things that are coming up in your trauma that need to be looked at, that need to be dealt with. And okay, got it. That's why they're like, what does it matter? What does it matter? Who cares? Who gives a shit if you trust us or not? You still have to do your work. Like, it's irrelevant if you trust us or not. Like, your trust of them is not the focus for you right now. You working on releasing and healing what's coming up for you is the focus of your work. They're softening. Because what the fuck, motherfuckers? Oh, I see. Okay. They showed me your anger, and they kind of that hardened them. They kind of got really hard. Not defensive, because, they're angelic beings, but they were like, they got a little firm, like really kind of like no nonsense, but they're softening now. And as they're softening, they're saying, we know. We see, we're with you. We know how painful this is. We know how unpleasant this is. We know. Okay, sorry. I was translating what they were saying, and they were like, don't do that. That would be disrespectful. We know how harsh we have been with you. And they are, hi, Marvin. And they are sorry. Like, they're sorry. It hurts them to do this with you. They're not sitting there eating popcorn, playing a game of chess with your life and emotions. Like, this is a very strategic and very necessary and important part of your journey. They will not tell me, I keep asking, they won't tell me if what they're saying consistently to you is accurate or if it's a red herring. What they're saying is, right now, it's irrelevant, because that outside of you is not what you need to be focusing on right now. What you need to be focusing on is what is coming up because of what's happening outside of you. And you have been asking them for this. You have been asking them to open your heart and to bring you your love. And they're saying, without this pot, it's not going to happen. Ever. Without this pot that you've just moved into, it's not going to happen. And that is the seriousness and the weight of what you are going through right now and what you need to work on and focus on. And they understand that you don't trust them. They don't care, which is weird. They really don't care. They're like, who gives a shit? You don't need to trust us right now. Like, again, it's irrelevant. But they're a little softer about it. Like, before they were like, we don't care. But now they're like, we understand. We understand that you don't trust us. We understand why. And we know how betrayed you feel. And they're saying it cannot be helped. They're saying it can't be helped. This is what had to happen. And it would have happened this way every single time if you want what you have been asking them for. And they're also saying, because they know, they're also saying, you can give up. That's fine. You can stop. You can quit. You can. And they will not judge you for that. And they won't be mad at you, and they won't punish you for that. Like, you can make a decision, never again. I never want to deal with this. I don't want love. I'm going to close my heart, and I will keep it closed forever. You can absolutely, it's within your divine right to make that decision. But there's an inkling that they have that you're not necessarily going to choose that once most of the hurt has moved through, and once you have worked through the deepest and the hardest of these lessons. And they love you. They fucking adore you. They cherish you. You are so precious to them, which is why it's so delicate. You actually have a couple of angels on your team that are like calling for softening of this lesson. But the ones who are like conducting this lesson are like, shh, sit down, sit back. Like, this is vital. No, we're not going to soften this. This is what she wants. We're going to do this. We're going to do it now. We're going to do it the quickest way. And it's going to be painful as hell. And this is what she wants. Like, so yeah. I love you. I know it's hard and it sucks. You are so supported in this, darling. Thank you. Rachel, I'm going to come back to your question, Sweet Pea, just in case we don't have time for second questions. So Kim, regarding the soulmate that you know, what does our connection mean? What is the purpose of this connection, especially if it doesn't come to fruition? Okay. So you and him, they're showing me a dance throughout the ages. Like your souls just dancing around each other, mostly joyfully, but it doesn't necessarily manifest as joyful when you're here on earth. So they're showing me like this dance that you guys have done throughout the ages. There's such a deep connection, and sometimes you're in each other's lives as lovers, sometimes as best friends, sometimes as brothers, sometimes as sisters. Never parent-child, though. It's always got an equal energy, but you manifest within each other's lives in a variety of different ways. And this lifetime, both of you chose to go through a little bit harder of an evolution with each other. It's almost like, but not quite, almost like you decided to be sparring buddies, where you're like, okay, let's hop in the ring, let's go a few rounds. And then I'll see where my weaknesses are, like where you're able to land punches, and you'll see where your weaknesses are, where I'm able to land punches. We'll break, and then we'll come back together. Yes, Linz, we're doing Ask Your Angels, but we're doing the Zoom questions first. So like in this lifetime, it's almost like you guys decided to get a little bit deeper into your healing. Like you guys leverage each other. It's almost like what they're showing me is like, there's a barrel and there's like a board, and like he's standing on one side, right? It's like a seesaw. He's standing on one side, and then you jump. And when you jump down, you leverage him up in his healing. And then he jumps down on your board and leverages you up. But both of you keep going like up, up, up. Well, in this lifetime, you guys decided to bite off more than you usually do. And he's not handling it very well. He's struggling. He's struggling to come to grips with it. It's almost like if you were in the ring, if you can imagine you guys being in the ring, it's almost like he's being a little bit pummeled, and he's like tapping out for a minute and like needing to like sit outside and like regroup. But since you've had support, you're regrouping. Even though it's been just as hard for you, you're regrouping and getting back ready is like so much quicker. It is like, oh man, exponentially quicker than his is. So you guys are both learning and testing each other and pushing each other, but your recovery time is so much quicker than his. And that's what's creating this conflict. You guys keep like misaligning. For a moment, you'll be on the same level, and then you misalign. And so that's what's happening with your connection. And it's for growth. That's the meaning. That's the reason. That's why you guys have come together, is for growth, to support each other in your growth. And it doesn't necessarily always feel good, or it rarely feels good. Sometimes it does. I know, sometimes it does. Sending you so much love, babe. I got you. Crystal, for your job, you have 2 opportunities with 2 different schools, and you're not sure which will make you happier. Which direction will satisfy and fulfill you the most? Ooh, what a great question. Okay, they're showing me there are some nuances between the 2 schools that will make a difference. One of the schools will be more of a community, which you've longed for. And one of the schools will be more of an opportunity for your growth. Happier, the one that feels like you belong there. Like I can already feel you're leaning towards one because you just feel drawn there, right? Happier, you'll be at that school that feels like you'll finally be part of a community, like a tribe with your work, which you've missed for a very long time. But happier also equals comfort zone in this respect. So their question to you is, what do you desire over the next few years? Do you desire a rest, or do you desire a grow? That's how they said it. It's terrible grammar. They're like, she gets it. Okay, cool. I won't correct it. They get real mad if I try to do that. Okay, so do you desire a rest, or do you desire to grow? If you desire to grow, you won't be the happiest. There'll be lots of challenges. You will have the opportunity to rest afterwards if you desire to grow. But both choices are perfectly fine. They support you with both. That's why they wanted to offer you both. Like, it's up to you. It's really up to you. They will not make your decision for you. You're the one who has to live with the decision. But they brought you both options because they know you're fucking tired. They know you're exhausted. They know that you would love to just maybe have a little bit where you coast. And they're saying that's great. That's totally fine. But if you don't want to, if you're ready for your next up level, then go with the school that you don't necessarily feel called to. Good luck. So excited for you, Chris. Allison, I've been working hard to get my business off the ground. When will I get my first client? And what can I do to make my business more aligned with my purpose? Ooh, this is a good one. Okay, Allison, you are forcing. This I'm working so hard has this forcing energy behind it that is not aligned with anything about what you're doing or who you are. If you will relax into your intuition, they have all the steps that you need in order to get your first client. And they're being a bit cheeky because they're like, and we've had them since the last time, babe. Since the last time you asked us when you get your first client. But there's this, because your desire, because your motivation is back, your inspiration is back, it's moved you into a level of energy and activity that has a very pushing energy. And that's not the way that your clients are going to come to you. Some people, I mean, it's the old paradigm, so not very much anymore, but some people can get into a very forcing energy and make it happen and force it to happen. But you're not one of those people, love. Like, you're not going to be able to force your first client to come in. You're actually going to have to relax, sit back, surrender, and receive your first client. I hope that makes sense. What can you do to make your business more aligned with your purpose? Baby steps. Baby steps. Each day, ask, what can I do today to make my business more aligned with my purpose? The thing is, babe, they're showing me that your business and your purpose are like so far apart that they're not going to necessarily meld and blend together as easily as you're hoping that they will. What's going to happen is that, like, when you really fully step into your purpose, you're going to bring in bits and pieces of that business knowledge and that that stuff that you're working on. You're going to be able to bring it into what your purpose is, and then you're going to be able to. They're showing me like this beautiful like maypole. You're going to be able to create a beautiful tapestry of a blending and a melding and a merging of your business and your purpose, but you're not going to be able to get to your purpose from the side of your business. It's almost like you kind of have to treat them like two separate entities. Is that right? Yes. Okay, but there can be some crossover. So just ask them on a day-to-day basis, like what do I do today to allow, oh, got it. What do I do today that will create alignment, that will support alignment within my business? Ask them, and they've got it. They've got all the answers for you. They literally have the step-by-step plan laid out for you, and they're just waiting to tell you. They're just waiting to give those answers to you, darling. Sending you love. Cheryl, I keep facing roadblocks for my next steps. As I know, you have been going through, yes, your internship, residency match for your last year of graduate school. Yep. You haven't been matched successfully for both phases. You feel like you followed your intuition throughout this process and you're working through limiting beliefs and wounds. Why does this keep happening to me? Your next year is in limbo now if you can't find a residency soon. and your grad school is refusing to fund you for the final year if you don't get a residency. This is happening to you, babe, because this is supposed to happen. It's so interesting because they haven't changed their answer at all from the last time you asked, what are you supposed to do? They have not pivoted. They are still firmly within that same energy, that same energy of this is exactly where you're supposed to be right now. You're on the precipice of a breakthrough. Hang in there. You've been doing everything right. We've got you. Big decisions are coming for you that are outside of the decisions that you've been looking at. What do you want? Stand fast. Hold on. Everything is going according to plan. Hang in there. Hang in there just a little bit longer. Your fears, while valid, are irrelevant. We've got you. Pan out. Look at the bigger picture. Pan out. Ask yourself from a wider point of view, from a wider perspective. What do I want? You are not asking yourself, what do I want? You're almost there. Hang in there. And that's all. That's all they've got for you, babe. You're almost there. Man, that sucks. Ugh, 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 yuck, yuck. Not having answers, for me, in my personal experience, in my life, when they don't give me, like, when they don't tell me how things are going to go, me no likey. So I fully feel you on that. Sorry, babe. Wish that I had something more tangible for you, but that is the extent of what they have. Shelley, will your new business be a success? Yes. You've been working so hard. They're so proud of you. Keep going. You're tapping into the right resources. You will make some money in this business. You could, if you want to, you could do this for the rest of your life, and it could give you some comfort. It could give you growth that you're looking for, and also that rest that you so need. Lorena, I've been feeling under major spiritual attack, and it's attacking your kids. Makes you want to pull back from what you thought is your purpose. You need some guidance on what you can do to help your kids. Is there a way for you to call on their angels to protect them? Yes, there is, and we can do it right now. Okay, but they want you to watch my class. I did a class on protecting your energy. You haven't watched it yet. They need you to watch it. Okay, because you're getting closer to your purpose. Something blocked it from your knowing. Something blocked you from knowing that I did a class on how to protect your energy. So because you are getting closer to your purpose, you're getting a bigger bullseye on your back. You're starting to become visible. Instead of leaning away from it, they actually need you to lean into it. But that's why they want you to do this Protect Your Energy class. It's literally called Protect Your, I think. Judes, if you're there, if anybody on my team, Rach, if anybody can remember what that class is called, I think it's just Protect Your Energy. It's in the back office. It's right there. It's in the Facebook group. You've got it. So do that. Okay. Yeah. Because they confirm, yes, you are under spiritual attack. So is everybody who's here to do something. Everybody who's here to make a personal difference, like within the world, is under spiritual attack. And so it's not necessarily a point of trying to get to a place where you're not being attacked, because there is no place like that exists. It's how to better protect yourself and your kids. Not okay that they're fucking with your kids. Not okay. You can ask, It's not okay. You can ask for protection on their behalf since you're their mother. But when you ask for it, do it with that firmness that recognizes their sovereignty. Hey, Tim. So like, what the actual fuck? No, do it with that firmness. No, absolutely not. Get the fuck out. Get these guys the fuck out of their space. Got it? Yeah, very firm. Very, very firm. Remember, their only tool against us is fear. Their only way to fuck with us is to make us think that we're weaker, is to make us think that we're smaller, is to make us think that we don't have rights, is to make us forget that we are not sovereign, is to make us forget that we have that rule of sovereignty, which means that no one is allowed to touch us that does not have our either implied or direct consent. And if someone is, it means that there is an unconscious consent. So then you can consciously say, no. Any unconscious consent that has been given is forthwith removed immediately. And hey, angels, go ahead and take care of this. Got it? They don't have a choice. Once you make that declaration, they don't have a choice. They have to leave. They literally don't have a choice. Their only option is to make us believe that they are stronger and we cannot beat them. That's their only option. It's just to mess with our minds. Got it? Ugh, putting lots of love and light around you because that shit sucks. Okay, Miranda, I see that you have a second question, but I am going to if we have time for a second, I don't think we will, because I don't even think we'll get to the bottom of our Zoom questions today. Can I do another one? Not next week, but soon? Okay. They're saying that I can do another Ask Your Angels for anybody whose questions we didn't get to today. They said probably in like a month. So if your question didn't get answered, make sure to make a note of it. And bring it back next time. Crystal, what messages are your angels wanting, needing to share at this moment? Your ears have been ringing. They're saying you're ready to start practicing your gifts. You don't have to accept money for them, but you're ready to start practicing. You have been procrastinating about practicing with others specifically. You've been practicing with yourself a little, and then you get freaked out and you stop practicing, but you're ready. You're ready to start practicing your gifts on other people, and they're waiting. And they're not going to let you evolve until you start. Galak. How can you start discerning these messages for yourself? Okay, so in magic school, there's a class, Talk to Your Angels. Go watch that one. Have you watched that one yet, Chris? Me, no. But if you haven't, go watch it. Okay. Go get him. Yes. And Crystal rises. Terry. Hi, Terry. Is your son okay with the decision for his future? Does he feel excited about it, or did he feel pushed into it? He felt pushed into it because he loves you and he was wanting you to be happy. Is he okay with it? Not really. If you want to give him the option, give him an open space to talk to you about it without, give him permission to tell you what he's feeling without, like, if he didn't know what you thought, what would he choose? Feels like he's older, right?
He's 18.
Yes, that's what I was feeling. I was feeling like he's 18. Yeah. He's ready to make decisions for himself without knowing what your opinion about it is. And he is ready to have the space to do that. But he is like devoted to you that if he knows what your opinion is, he will like follow that rather than worry about upsetting you or your disapproval or your disappointment in his decision. Does that make sense?
It does. It's more his dad. I think it goes more to his dad. Like he made the choice because that's what his dad encouraged him to do or wanted for him.
Got it. So it was disapproval from a parent, but it was more his dad. Got it. Okay. So you can support him in this by just really reinforcing that it's his choice and that he's going to have to make the final decision. Not to make the final decision. Yes, make the final decision, but he's going to have to live with the results. He is going to have to live with the consequences. Like no one else is going to live his life for him. Yeah, he cares very much about his dad's approval though. So I don't know if there's a lot of wiggle room within this scenario.
Will he be okay though? Even if it's something he didn't want to do?
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he's absolutely going to be okay. He might have a couple of false starts. He might change his mind. He might change schools. Like he might, is it about school? Is that?
He signed up for the service.
Oh, okay. I see. He's going to have a couple of rough moments. He's going to have a couple of really rough moments, but this is going to be ultimately good for him. This is going to develop a level of grit that he wouldn't have gotten. And it's also, it's going to teach him a really important lesson of not to make decisions based on what other people say or other people's approval or disapproval. Like it's going to be a rocky road for him. He might choose to stay. He might choose to go. Just be there for him is the best way for you to support him through this.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh, that's ouchies. I can feel it and I can see it. Ow, ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow. Thank you, Terry. Ashley, you're restarting a business after a few years of not doing anything with it. You had a lot of limiting beliefs that made you give up. You're having a lot of those same feelings pop up and you're trying to work through them. How do you just push through the uncomfortable to make your business successful this time around? Okay. So, does your therapist do some kind of hypnotherapy? I can see you, so you can nod. Or some, no? Okay. That's how you're going to be able to clear them. You won't be able to just force through the limiting beliefs because they control 95% of your day. So no matter what you try to do, they'll still be affecting 95% of your decisions. Does that make sense? So do some kind of classes or work with a hypnotherapist. You're going to need timeline therapy. You're going to need neurolinguistic programming in order to fully clear the beliefs out of your brain matter. If you need support with that, you can definitely message me or Judy. I have a team or I have classes and stuff. Like we can definitely connect you with some resources. But yeah, you won't be able to push through because those limiting beliefs will be controlling your perceptions, your facial expressions, your eye contact, your thoughts, your emotions, they'll be controlling everything. And so there is no pushing through. It's almost like, how do you see your own eyeball? You can't, right? You're like, how can I push through? Like, how can I disconnect from my body? Well, it's just not possible. Like that's kind of how the question is. Does that make sense? It needs an external process to be able to clear those. But there is lots of resource flow. There is lots of abundance available to you. I know you can feel it. So there is a lot of like, keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't stop. Like, let yourself keep moving through this. Keep healing what's coming up for you. Good. Let me just clear myself. Oh, I feel like something is trying to constrict my lungs. No. Okay, cool. Oh, thanks, Gurjot. You said spot on. Thank you. Tiff used to travel when I was young to a place like a cave with a stream going through it with a floating light, with floating light beings all around. It gave you so much peace. Where was it? It was, they're showing me. You said cave? Yeah. With a stream. Okay, that's so fascinating because that's a place that I go to too. But we've never talked about this. Oh, that's fascinating. Okay, so this is a place that you used to go on a different planet. You used to go there to relax. In fact, we probably went there together to relax, to recuperate, and to talk with your team. It's not in this dimension. It's even in a different dimension. It might exist somewhere beyond the veil, like in the spirit world. It does exist beyond the veil. Okay. Something's trying to shut me up right now. And I say, no. Cool. Thank you. You're welcome, sweetheart. Carrie, hi. Your question is, you want to quit your day job and just become a Facebook ads manager. Is this the right decision? As long as you have 6 months of your expenses and savings, as long as you have emotional support, as long as you have moved into action. Okay, so you need to save maybe just a little bit more money. They want you to go through your budget and just notice what your bare minimum expenses are per month. And they want you to have 6 months of that in your savings account. I can feel like you've had a little bit of success in your business, which is amazing. Yay! But when you do the transition, it's going to bring up some stuff for healing. And when that stuff comes up for healing, it's going to slow down your business a little bit. And they just want you to have that padding so that you don't go into panic mode. And then other than that, except for that, yes, you're totally ready. If you want to do that via like some other kind of support, like a loan or some type of funding or something like that, they're totally fine with it. So you're super close, but they just want you to have that money. Allison, so hard to do, but yes, makes sense. Second part makes so much sense. I know, babe, it's so hard. Okay, Elizabeth, your question for your team is about the web developer course. What's your question, babe? There's no question there. Do you want to unmute real quick and ask your question? Are you still there? Yes.
Okay, I just unmuted. How is that?
Perfect.
Okay, I just want to know, is this a good thing to move forward with, or is it something I should pull back from?
What a great question. They're so happy that you're asking. Okay, let me just slow them down. They're too fast. Hang on. They want you to start to stretch your legs in this area. But it feels like you've been doing a lot of courses recently. They need you to integrate some of the information that you have been learning, start using it, start practicing it. it feels like you're looking for the thing that you're going to be able to drag and drop into your life and tap into. They're showing me like tapping into like water, like a spigot tapping into water, like finding the thing that's going to tap into your resource flow. And that's not the purpose of the web developer course. Your resource flow is on the inside, and you're looking for outside ways to access an internal source. It's not that you need to do or not do the web developer course. Regardless of whether you choose to move forward or not, they need you focusing internally, not externally, not at what is my thing, not what am I supposed to be doing, not what is my outside thing, inside, tapping into here, tapping into your intuition, your internal resources, your love. There's some healing that needs to be done, but you're not even at the place where it's time to like fully immerse yourself in your internal healing journey. They just need you to turn your focus inward rather than outward. Can you answer the question about the course though? No. And yes. Well, at least that's not confusing. Should she do the course? It doesn't matter. Okay. They're saying it doesn't matter whether you do the course or not. That's so weird. Because that's not the important thing. The important thing is to turn inward now and do some internal work. Stop searching the outside for the answer. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, babe? Do you have any like, is that clear?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm having a very bad connection.
Got it. Okay. All right. Thank you. Cool. You're welcome, Cheryl. Pretty much what you've been hearing. I know. Crystal says, thank you so much. Now you've collected yourself. You're able to say, holy shit, that makes sense. Allison also has been having the spiritual warfare. Shelly, thank you so much. You were afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Oh, I so get it, babe. Okay, not yet. Hi, Sandra. How do you connect more with your angels? You just do it. You just do it, babe, because you're not taking time to do it and you're pushing them away. You just stop, you pause, you go into that space where they are and you do it. That's how you connect more with your angels. Miranda, where do you find access to the classes I've mentioned? If there are specific classes that I've mentioned, then just message me. The classes are not yet available. I'm working with my web developer to make them available. But we've been dealing with a few other things in the meantime. So they're coming. They're coming. The cave, it does sound awesome. Carrie, it's not quite time for you to connect with your angels. I'm going to hop over. We've got 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. I'm going to hop over to Facebook questions. Just real quick. Got comments here. Damn, I can only see the most recent ones. I'm sorry for anybody who asked questions earlier. I cannot see the first questions that were asked, but I'm just going to answer the ones I can see. So we've got, will my son and daughter be okay? Yes. How can you support their emotional healing? By making sure that they have therapists, healers, by listening. They're showing me that your son and your daughter will take different roads to healing. And one of them or both of them may want to do a type of healing that you don't necessarily agree with. and you might feel a kind of way, or you might feel like you want to navigate the way that their healing happens. And they're saying, as best as you can, don't project your idea of how they should be healing onto them. Honor their decision to take their own healing paths. They are different people from you. Honor their differences from you. Trust that they will be following their intuition, or at least finding their own way, and support them. There are going to be some things that are very scary for you that you'll want to stop them from doing. They're saying that's not your place. Your place is to hold a space for them, to witness them. And yes, they're going to be okay. You're all going to be okay. You all are. Oh, thank you, Terry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lindsay, who are your angels, and what can you do to be able to see or hear them more or better? Your angels, we've got Raphael, Camiel. So funny that you have Camiel. You've got Camiel and Samuel. Ariel. They're saying you don't need to hear them better. They're saying you hear them just fine. You ignore them, which is different. Yeah, so you don't need to hear them better. You just need to listen. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. It's really great. Jessica, Bree, can you put your question here, babe? Because I saw that you answered a question, and I'm going to answer it. My Insta profile locked me out again for the second time in a row, the second week in a row, even though I've been doing this for 12 weeks now. Weird. It's my pleasure. I'm a good listener. I do what I'm told. Okay, so Jess, what messages do your angels need to hear? Stop being so stubborn. They're saying, stop being so stubborn. They're trying to move you in the direction that you're asking them to, but then you're refusing. You are refusing to do it, except for in the way that you think it should be done. I don't know what they're talking about because we haven't touched base in a really long time. So I'd love to have more information about that. That would be so interesting. But you've been asking them for something and they're trying to give it to you, but because it's not showing up in the way that you asked them for it, they are like, dude, like you're asking for this, but it's not going to happen in exactly the way that you want. So relax into it. You've got to surrender. You've got to stay present with the moment. And it can't be your way. The way that you think it's going to unfold, it's not possible for it to unfold in that way. So relax. I hope that was helpful. Bree, when will you be able to buy a house? Will it be what you're aiming for? And is the career brand that you are currently that you're working towards, going to provide the financial support of the path to get there? Okay. Yes, you will be able to buy a house. Will it be what you were aiming for? Yes. Is the career brand that you're working for currently going to provide the financial support path to get there? And the answer is multifaceted, because you are not going to be able to do it by yourself. There's a call for more support. And I'm not sure, more financial support. Okay. Feels like you're carrying a really heavy load and it's wearing you out. More income needs to come from somewhere that doesn't rely on you and your creativity. The amount that you're doing is exhausting you. There's a little bit of a slip back into overworking. There's an overthinking. You might not be looking in the right area. There's an attachment to a certain location that they're saying is not where you're supposed to be indefinitely. I felt that. I felt that disappointment. I know, but there's something about a different space that would allow more growth, more expansion. You're cocooned right now. It's not allowing you to grow more than you have. It's essentially like you've hit the edges of the walls of your container. And you need to break the walls down. They're showing me wheat fields, and I don't know why, but they're telling me to tell you that they're showing me wheat fields. Yes, it is. Yes, it is in California. Yes, it could be close. It's just not the location that you've been looking. You're closer than you think. You need more support. You need to use your voice. Good. Good. Yay. Love you, Brie. Okay. Yes, Lindsay. So what you're hearing is real. Maybe you can ask them to be a different voice or slow down. Okay. So yeah, when they have, oh, so much love to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. So when they have those messages, it's so hard. When they get excited, they start speaking faster. They start speaking angelic. I have to slow down. Nope, still too fast. Slow down. Slow down. I'm not understanding you. Can you please speak English? I have to be really, really specific. So yeah, what you're hearing is real. You can ask them to be clearer. Savi, are you close to a breakthrough with your finances? You're still holding on to something too tightly. Because the answer is yes and no. The answer is yes, let go of that thing that you're holding on to. And no, if you do not let go of this thing that you're holding on to. I wonder what the thing is. Do you know what the thing is? Whatever it is that you're holding on to so tightly, they're like, we can't do anything. You got to let go so that we can bring your resource flow to you. Yeah, and you're holding on with everything that you have. So you got to let go. And Paula, I'll answer your question really quick, and then I'm hopping off. And Paula, should you do it alone or with a partner? You should do it alone, but work with somebody whose energy aligns with you as kind of a support system. Okay, loves. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll be back next week. We're returning to our regularly scheduled programming. We're going to be hopping back into dissolving poverty mentality next week, talking about manifestation. So appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself and for the support. Love, love, love. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.